G'day dear peeps, my name is Scripps and wait, oh my god, is that a Hollow Knight related video I spy with my open eye? Yes it is, I'm sorry, I know, I thought those were extinct too. No, just kidding. I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading a lot of Hollow Knight related stuff in the past few weeks or maybe even the last month I think. And I haven't really been uploading anything Hollow Knight related, and I do know that one of the big rises of, well, I could say the quote-unquote success of this channel was definitely Hollow Knight, and especially those two videos that I did that were Hollow Knight related. Those two videos I owe, or the people who came from those videos, I owe a great debt because they helped grow the community and channel so well, and it's been a game that has kind of been a reoccurring theme throughout my entire channel. So, you know, I thought, why not bring it back a bit? I want to go back and I want to do some more character designs. Because I've pretty much played anything Hollow Knight related that exists on the face of the earth. I've played anything that looks remotely like Hollow Knight, and I've played pretty much every single way that you could play Hollow Knight. So yeah, I can't really do gameplay much anymore, but I do have some ideas for character designs. That's sort of the thing that I've been doing for the past while on my channel when it's anything Hollow Knight related, and that is that I like to create character designs for the new and upcoming game Hollow Knight Silksong. I like to create imaginary characters that could kind of fit into the universe as best as possible, and then you guys are the judges of both their names, like I don't know, their gender, their different characteristics. I just come up with a design, you guys create the story for it. That's kind of how we've been bouncing off each other for a while, and if you're new to the channel then I hope you'll be into this idea. Obviously I will give a few of my ideas and what I thought when actually thinking of the character design, but those aren't final, it's you guys' decision in the end. But yeah, let's just jump into it. I actually think that the last character design that I did for this game was the one with like the big claw hand that people seem to kind of enjoy. Kind of like this crab creature that was based on like an actual shrimp in real life, a kind of shotgun shrimp I think it's called. But this one is based on a creature which I almost can't believe is in the game. Well, it actually is in the game, kind of, but not the animal itself, just the name. It's a hornet. Yes, Hornet is in the game of course, but from what we know, then she's not actually like the creature a hornet. It's actually pretty hard to tell what she is, because she was raised by spiderlings and then she's the daughter of Hera the Beast and also the Pale King, so that doesn't really give us a lot of information when it comes to actual insect race. But I wanted to create a character that was an actual wasp or like an actual hornet as a race, because I always think that hornets are some of the best villains in real life, so why not try to turn them into kind of like a mini villain, at least in, you know, the video game world. Why not? Now I do know that there are bees in the original Hollow Knight game, but my design is not going to be based on them at all, because I think comparing bees to wasps is absolutely disgraceful. Hornets are like a billion times worse, they're way more I don't know, I'm not gonna call them deceiving, they're not really that smart, but they're just way more evil. So this guy I'm also gonna turn kind of evil. I've got a couple of different ideas for him. Him or her, you can decide if it's a her. All I know is that I wanted to create a character that really fit more into the devious pool. So I wanted to create a character that actually looked very welcoming, maybe very like fine, honest, like I don't know, playing it right sort of person, like what do you call it? Because I'm almost 100% sure someone with dignity you don't call dignacious. There must be another word for it, come on. A dignified person, there we go, that's the word for it. But I wanted to create a person that looked very dignified, but in reality they like to play dirty. They like to play the betrayal game, they're actually very rude, but they're hiding their true intentions. So I wanted to find some sort of fancy character to base my design off of. And I decided, just off of browsing a bunch of DeviantArt and getting some ideas, why not create a character that's based on a musketeer? We haven't seen that in Hollow Knight yet, I believe. We've seen a lot of fancy fighters, but I don't think we've seen anyone specifically like based off of the musketeer, at least fashion or style wise. So I wanted to create a character that was in the full like musketeer outfit with both the feathered hat and also kind of like the musketeer gown that they're so famous for wearing in like movies and stuff. So almost the entire outfit can be credited to like old Renaissance, I don't even know if it's Renaissance, but just old musketeer outfits. But I also ended up getting a bit inspired by a character, an actual character that I was just reminded of, especially when I drew the eyes. Might sound a bit racist, I don't know, but Lin Yao, I think, from Full Metal Alchemist became sort of an inspiration for this one. Is that his name? Yeah, Lin Yao, Lin Yao. Because he's almost the exact same thing. He kind of has the whole yellow outfit going for him, which I was also thinking this character was gonna have, since you know he's a wasp, and wasps are usually black and yellow, so that's the color scheme that I wanted to go with. But Lin Yao fitted it very well, because he's also exactly like that. He kind of squints his eyes, he's hiding his true identity and his true intentions, or actually his true capabilities, throughout like a lot of the series, and then he finally reveals himself, and he's actually he's a very big game player when it comes to he's a big game player when it comes to the actual story, and he has a huge influence, and that's what I wanted this character to be, just someone who seemed like maybe a stranger that you would walk into, or like a nice person or something, but then they would suddenly show their true intentions, that they would actually be really freaking tough, or a really good fighter for some reason, and that's exactly what I wanted this character to be. This also meant that I wanted to give the character kind of like a huge contrast, so kind of like an evil side and a good side, like where they seem all nice and dignified once again, and then the one where they kind of have the red eye open, or the eye that I decided to turn red in the end. I wanted to create like this really evil, like almost alternate personality when they show their true side. But for some reason I was finding it really difficult to pull off with this specific color scheme. I usually work a lot with reds and a lot with dark colors when I want to create that sort of like really cool color blending feel. I just haven't really worked with a lot of yellow and stuff like that yet, so I'm gonna have to apologize that the devious side of this character didn't really come to fruition. Sorry, my English is leaving me. But hopefully you guys still get the idea and get like the character design that I was going for. And hopefully you can kind of bounce off of that when you wanna maybe add some names to this, or add some background story to this character, and at least try to help me implement this character into the Hollow Knight universe. A part which I actually haven't thought about a lot yet. I don't really know what kind of player this character is in the game. I do think that they would be kind of fitting in the area with a lot of yellow and whites. We've seen this area before with kind of like the cultists, the yellow and white cultists, and they have the different symbols and stuff. I wouldn't want to give him the exact symbol of the cult, because we don't know. He seems more like a lone player. He doesn't really work for anyone, or at least that's how I think of wasps. I don't think they would be nice enough to work with anyone, or at the very least in like very few groups, or very small groups at least. I kind of thought of him as an assassin. Maybe he would kind of be along the same line as Lace, or the same motivations as Lace, that they just want to kill her for some reason. We don't know why they want to kill Hornet yet. My guess is that she's some sort of like royalty, like she's actually kind of like from a royal bloodline or something in Farloom, and that's why they want to kill her. That's my theory at least. But maybe this guy would want to kill her for the same reason, but he's just being more devious. He's being more trickery when it comes to it, and he actually tries to stab her in the back instead of directly confronting her. His weapons, in the beginning I thought it would be like a feather, and he would just kind of use the sharp end of a big feather or something to incorporate that, like the real book feel, that like they're so small that he can use a feather as a weapon, but I didn't really know how that would pan out, and I kind of liked the way the feather just sat in the hat. So I actually gave him kind of like these speedrun hands, like just really sharp knives for arms that he would use like kind of slash forward, and then he would also be hiding them behind his back most of the time, which is really fitting because it's kind of a devious, it's a dignified pose, but at the same time it also hides a bit, and in this case it hides deadly knife hands. So I think that actually ended up being very fitting for the character. But of course, I'm willing to change up anything in the design. If you would like to change anything in the design, that's absolutely also viable. If you come up with different ideas, especially for the color scheme, like, oh, it would have looked cooler if maybe, I don't know, they had 2 red eyes, or that like they did this, or they look like this instead. That's cool. I want to make it sort of like a character creation process, and then I can bounce off of you guys, and I can learn more and more about how to do character design. I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but that's kind of what this channel has been about For a long time, a lot of people think that this is like an art channel because I'm good at art. That's not the case. This is actually just because I started doing art at the beginning of this channel. So this is actually just as much of a learning art along with you guys as it is just a regular art channel. It's kind of different, I guess. But anyways, going back to the actual drawing and going back to actually talking about it, then I also think I pretty much said everything like there really is to say. I kind of decided to go for the same character drawing format as last time, where I just created kind of a character sheet. Oh yeah, that's the last character that I drew, by the way. That was like the spider girl. I remember now. Don't write it in the comments. Don't correct me. I know it now. But yeah, I kind of like the way I drew that, because then you also get a little more information about the character. I can kind of visualize a bit how the character acts and stuff. So I kind of like the whole character sheet style of presenting this design to you guys. It makes it a little easier for you guys to read. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not very happy with the way that I handled the blending and the color and all that, but that's something that I'll get better at with time, and I would have liked to show off a little bit more, or not a little bit more, actually a whole lot more of that really devious, that really creepy, that really evil side of this character, which in just this time around I could only manage to do properly through like just making one eye really red, which I'm not very happy about. But you know, you gotta get what you gotta get. I'm still like a beginner artist. I'll make mistakes, and you know, we'll fight through them together. That's just how it is. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have any sort of ideas as to how I could make this character more creepy, more devious, more fitting for the role, or maybe you have an entirely different plan for how this character is supposed to pan out, then I would love to read about it in the comments. I read pretty much every comment, so don't worry about it getting lost in there. It might take some time before I answer, but that's just life. It's pretty busy. So it might take a few days before I answer, but don't worry, I am reading. And I might even like click the love icon or pin the comment which I think is like the winning one, or which one I like the most, and then we can kind of like have a little competition, or a little, I don't know, I get a little bit of a contest to see who can come up with the best ideas and character sheet for this guy or girl. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.